Welcome to New Center Maine Plus. I'm Chris Costa. Today joined by Angela Stone, the founder, and executive director of Maine Needs. Angela, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
In case you didn't know, Angela and Maine Needs the 2024 Humanitarian Award for Spurwink because of what they've done for the community. And Angela, you guys are getting ready to celebrate 5 years as a community partner. Tell me about what this is like for you guys to reach that milestone.
It's very exciting. We can't believe we're here. So we basically became a nonprofit. We filed to become a nonprofit the week before COVID hit. And so October 2020 was their start date, and we just celebrated our 5-year official date this last October. And this weekend we have a party to celebrate and basically bring the community together, because this is truly, it started as a community effort. It has continued as a community effort. And we wouldn't be here without this community and all of the people who have joined in and wanted to help in whatever ways that they can. And so we just want to be in a big room with everyone and celebrate. And, my dream is for us to shout out, "This is what community looks like." And just have all of us together and fundraising for grocery gift cards and winter gear essentials so that we can get through the next couple of months.
So you guys are going to need a big room, because you were just telling me before we started, within the last, 11 months, since January 2025, you guys have gained 5,000 volunteers. That makes up 5,000 of your almost 7,000 total?
Yes.
So what has that been like? Where did all these volunteers come from, and why do you think this happened? The third part of that question is, how does that feel?
I think that moving into a bigger space, we were completely overgrown we were at Forest Avenue in 4,000 square feet. We were basically stepping over one another and stepping over the bags. And if anybody who has given to us within the last couple of years has driven into that parking lot, it was always crowded, very limited parking. And now we're in this space where we have 100 parking spots and we have space. We moved from 4,000 square feet to 16,000 square feet. And we still have that open door policy. I really believe that anyone who wants to help should have a place where they can dig in and get to work and really help. And so that open door policy still exists. We have shifts every single day, 3-hour shifts, 9 to 12, 12 to 3. We also have a Tuesday night and Saturday morning. And I think a big part of our success from a volunteer standpoint, in addition to our wonderful volunteer program manager, is that we make it really easy and really accessible to come in. You're trained on the spot. If you like it and you want to come back, we're here for you. If you want to shift and do something else, join a committee or help collection drives or start a fundraiser, there's room for that too. So whatever anybody wants to do to join in and help, we're here for it.
I do want to make sure everybody knows exactly what's going on with the party that's happening on Friday, right? This is a celebration. It's open to the public, right? Yes. People can buy tickets for this.
Absolutely.
And the goal is that the funds raised from ticket sales and any sponsorships you guys get from corporate partners will go to purchase grocery gift cards and the winter gear essentials you were just talking about a second ago. This is essentially helping you guys continue your mission.
Absolutely.
Okay, got it.
It is a fundraiser and it is a celebration, and we have bands, participating and joining in and sponsoring us in that way. We have a hula hoop performance artist that's going to be there. Cool. And we have a few businesses, Eventide Oyster and Black Tie Catering. They're helping with food as well. So it's going to be a good time. And again, it's really about coming together, having a reason to celebrate. There's a lot happening in the world that is hard to take in. We're here to celebrate, and we're here to do something about what's happening in the world and what's happening in our community, and make sure that people have what they need, those basic essential items.
It kind of feels like you guys are always in need of some of those basic items, right? You guys have a sign in the front hallway that says, if you've got X, Y, or Z, hygiene items, boots, coats, those are things that you guys need year round.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of inquiries about, the angel trees, and what we do every day is an angel tree. We're right now we're receiving 150 to 200 requests each and every day. A request can be for one person, it can be for 5 people, it can be for a large family, an encampment, a school. So, we are taking in those very specific requests of what people need, what they want, what they're going without, and our volunteers shop the space to fill those requests. And so the whole concept around these like angel trees and wanting to make sure that a family is not going without these items, and a family has, ways to celebrate and just move beyond surviving to thriving potentially, is what we're trying to do every single day. And yeah, we need it all year round. It's not a November, December focus. It's all year round. So
when you say that you guys are getting requests for these materials, who are those requests coming from? Are they coming from the people themselves, or are they coming from like a caseworker or somebody who knows a family in their community? How does that part work?
Great question. So in the state of Maine, 245,000 households are going without their basic needs being met. If all of those 245,000 households were to request with us each and every day, we would not be able to keep up with that. So we do work through caseworkers, teachers, nurses, and street outreach teams, and they put in those requests. And the reason we work with more than caseworkers is because there are a lot of people who need a caseworker and can't obtain a caseworker. Right. There's not enough in the state. Right. And so we try to hit all the spots by making sure teachers can request, social workers at schools, nurses and doctors that are seeing patients leave the hospital with babies that are leaving with needing 0 to 3 month clothing. Right. And diapers and that sort of thing. Teachers who see that the kids are wearing pants that don't fit them, shirts that don't fit them. They don't have winter boots to go and play at recess in the snow. They don't have snow pants. They don't have gloves. So they're able to make requests through us as well. And so those requests are sent via email to us. We print those out, and then the volunteers shop the space. And one thing, going back to why we have so many volunteers and why we have so many dedicated people wanting to help, I think once you read these requests, you can never unknow what you saw. Yeah. So these requests, they all represent somebody's life. They all represent somebody's lived experience of what they have, what they don't have, what they're going without, and the fact that they don't have someone to turn to. They don't have a family member or friend that they can reach out to ask for help with diapers or with warm bedding or pots and pans or clothes that fit for their kids. They're reaching out to a caseworker. They're reaching out to a nurse. They're reaching out to a teacher. And I know, a lot of us have people that we can turn to in those really difficult moments. And so once you read that and you see, this is a request for a mom that's sleeping in her van with a baby and a toddler, and she's asking for a gas gift card so that she can keep the heat in the van on. Wow. And they're asking for diapers size 3. And you just know the age of the baby if they're asking for diapers size 3. And you read that, and that's what all those requests are, 150 to 200 requests like that every single day. And so if you're a volunteer and you read that, you can't not come back. You feel, I feel changed by this for sure. You can't unknow what you learn here. But you can be part of the solution. It's not all sad. It's, we actually have a big 16,000 square foot space now that's full and bursting at the seams that we're shopping, and we're able to meet those requests within 2 to 3 days.
So you're telling the story, you just were explaining some of the stories of the people who are kind of going without those basic needs. And at the beginning, you had mentioned a figure that I wanted to understand more about. Did you say 245,000 people in Maine a day are going, did you say, without their basic needs?
Yeah.
Help me understand, 1, what that means, and 2, where that number comes from.
Yeah, so United Way does something called the ALICE report every year. Okay. And the ALICE report breaks down how many households are going without their basic needs being met. Basic needs, most of us think of as, apartment, the rent, shelter,
hygiene, clothing, food.
Yep.
Okay.
I think most of us think of food and heat and rent. But all of the people who are going without the food that they need and going without the ability to pay for high rising costs in rent and heat, I think those people are also going without underwear and deodorant and soap and dish soap, ways to clean their dishes, all-purpose cleaning spray. The cleaning products is huge for us. Last year we gave out about 16,000 cleaning kits, so the community can make those kits for us. We also do our best to keep that in stock and buy those supplies. But that's what we're seeing. We see a lot of people who that's what they're asking for is deodorant and soap and new underwear.
I had seen on the Maine Needs Instagram page recently, there were multiple sort of calls to action to the community saying, our shelves are empty right now.
Yes.
Can you help me understand, was that just a blip on the radar, so to speak, or is that something that's been slowly building, has been going on the whole time? Help me understand.
I would say that happens every few days. So we will completely fill up. We'll have, our donation days are Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays. And we will get inundated with donations, which is wonderful. And we'll have a small mountain of clothing and bedding. And then we also are filling those 150 to 200 requests at the exact same time. And so
going in and coming out of basically in the same day.
It's truly, it really is. And so, the shelves, you're seeing, less pants, less shirts, specific items in the household area usually is bedding and pots and pans, dishes, towels we're always low on. Okay. So these items empty out really quickly. And so, one day we'll be full, the boot rack will be, overflowing, we'll have stuff on the floor in front of it, and then 3 days later we're empty. So it really is that, we're getting stuff in and getting stuff out that quickly. And even in this larger space, we moved from the small space to this 4 times bigger space, and we were able to fill it and stock it. And even then, because of the number of requests that are coming in and the size of the requests, we blow through that stuff very quickly. So it's a constant need. It's a constant need to buy more items. I will also say that the tariff costs have affected some of the really basic items that we do. So we're buying a lot of stuff in bulk from companies that sell in bulk to try and cut costs. And we're seeing, before it's delivered, we have to pay extra because of the tariffs, or it's stuck in the water somewhere.
Sure.
And so we're getting delays on, we have multiple orders of waterproof gloves and mittens and snow pants and men's winter coats that are
waiting on a boat.
And so it's really affecting us in real time. Even if we have the funds, we're not able to get it fast enough to keep up with the orders. So we appreciate people who, shop sales locally and go through their closets and go through their linen closets and whatnot and pull out the things that they no longer are using or they don't think they need any longer. And we do focus on making sure everything's in good condition because we want people to feel loved and respected.
But it doesn't have to be new, just gently used.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't, I always say, if you'd give it to your best friend and their family or your favorite cousin and their family, then it's probably good enough for us. If you wouldn't, if you'd be they wouldn't feel loved by this donation, then that's when we pass it on.
Who are you serving primarily? What would be a demographic or multiple demographics that you'd say make up the majority of the people you serve?
I would say low-income Maine families are probably number one. It started as a focus on asylum-seeking mothers and babies, and what we quickly learned is what they needed, Maine families needed. But we're serving everybody that's going without these basic needs. So for sure the immigrant population, for sure the unhoused population, people leaving incarceration. A lot of times there's a lack of sympathy around people who have served their time, they're done, they come out, and all they have is the shirt on their back. And they go right into being homeless. And a lot of mothers leaving domestic violence with young children is definitely part of it. But I would say everybody, that's our common denominator is we all wake up in the morning, we all want to use soap up our bodies, brush our teeth, put on socks and shoes that fit, and crawl into a warm bed at night. And the reality is 40%, so that statistic of 245,000, it's 40% of Maine. 40% of Maine is going without these basic needs being met.
Are there cities or towns in particular where you notice most of your either requests coming from or your items going to?
Yeah. So I know that, we do work in all 16 counties. I do feel like just given that we're in Portland, we
Right.
definitely serve Cumberland County, York County, Sagadahoc, and Androscoggin the most. But we also work quite a bit with Aroostook County and Somerset County, which is where Skowhegan is, Washington County. Those are really hard hit areas where they sort of have resource deserts where there's not only are there not a lot of people able to give these items, there aren't a lot of stores where they can be purchased. And so we try to ship up trailer loads, truckloads, van loads. We have a lot of volunteers that love driving across the entire state and are willing to load up their trailer or their trucks and deliver to places like Aroostook County and Washington County and Somerset. I'd say we do focus on the areas that have the highest population most frequently, the Androscoggin, York, and Cumberland. But some of the northern and central and western counties are hardest hit.
I just wonder if some people who maybe initially became familiar with Maine Needs as an organization that primarily focused on asylum-seeking mothers maybe did not realize how much you guys had broadened your scope.
Right.
That's kind of what I was curious about. Do you feel like people have learned that now?
I
after
hope
5
so.
years?
I hope so. And I think what I think is so beautiful is like at the time I thought, just pick one. Like it was I was moving back to Maine in 2018 from Chicago, and at the time children were being separated at the border, and my kids were my oldest two were 1 and 3, and my focus was on asylum-seeking mothers and their young children because I couldn't imagine being in that position and having, what was being said, the narrative on media being said. And so I thought, just pick one demographic or one focus to throw your energy into, and that's where it started. But what's so beautiful for me to experience just like as a participant of Maine Needs at this point is that if you go hard enough and focus on any one group, like if your call to action feels like I want to focus on veterans, or I want to focus on the unhoused, or people leaving incarceration.
I want to focus on Oxford County.
Yeah, or Oxford County, like whatever you decide to throw your energy, your heart, your time into, if you go hard enough, you'll find that the crossover is there. Yeah. There are immigrants that are veterans that have like fought on our behalf, in the Iraq War. There are people who are unhoused that are also mothers. There are, the crossover between all of these demographics is very clear. And I think anybody who spends a lot of time focused on community, you see that we're all the same. Like our needs are the same. Our love of family, our desire to be respected, to be seen, to be understood, to have access to food, to have access to clothing that fits, and it's all there for everyone.
You're talking about the access to food and clothing that fits. Those are the very two things you guys are fundraising for with this 5-year party. And so it feels like a silly question to ask, but are the grocery gift cards in direct response to the real back and forth on the SNAP benefits?
Yeah,
We thought by Friday that this was going to be figured out in terms of the state's going to do its part, the federal government's been required by a judge to do X, Y, and Z, and then over the weekend it seems like it's all been undone.
Right.
Well, not all of it, but some of
right.
it. So this is in response to the SNAP benefit back and forth.
Absolutely. So because we're getting requests through caseworkers, teachers, and nurses, we regularly get requests for, even when this wasn't going on, we do regularly get requests for gas cards and grocery gift cards because those are top needs that people are going without. And there aren't a lot of programs that are focused on funding those outside of SNAP.
Yes, right, okay.
And so, yes, we always need them regardless of if SNAP is funded or not. But yes, when SNAP is not funded, we see more of those requests coming in. And we have the ability, this month, just in November alone, we will probably be filling about 5,000 requests.
Wow.
And so
for
we have
food.
the ability. Well, for everything.
Anything.
All requests, but the same people going without underwear and diapers and pots and pans and clothes that fit are also going without food. So to be able to put those in the orders and really make a small dent in this makes an impact. So.
What has been for you as you kind of get ready for this 5-year celebration? Really, what has kind of inspired you to feel like us doing this small dent will actually make a difference?
I think we see that we make a difference every day. I think it's part of why we're all still, trudging along is because these small little things, these every single person helping collectively makes a huge difference. We're now helping about 78,000 people a year. And it started with a focus on, 5 families.
Sure, right.
So that's chilling for all of us to, we're just getting better at data collecting and mapping out, what we're actually doing in order to be able to tell the story. And as those numbers come in and as we, calculate up our tallies of what's gone out, and we see that all of this does make a difference. So everybody who has, washed their clothes and bedding and put it in a bag and dropped it off to us on a donation day, like, you just helped someone out significantly. You might have helped multiple families out. Everybody who has created like fundraisers for us, kids who have lemonade stands and we try to like match their lemonade stand to pull in more money, like all of it counts. And I think a lot of times we can look at the news cycle that's happening, not just in our country, but globally, and feel helpless and feel overburdened and exhausted. But if you just decide to like take that energy and put it towards something, it really does make a difference. Like, I know for me, when I started, this started from a place of heartbreak and feeling like, I don't understand why this is happening and how can I help? And my background isn't any of this. And so I didn't know if I could even do anything or help. And clearly that hasn't been true. And so I think all of us that are feeling heartbreak or sadness or anger, those are some really powerful feelings, and they can be turned into fuel. They can be turned into fuel that turns into action, that turns into like tangible help. And that's what we're trying to do every day is offer tangible help at Maine Needs.
So Angela, you were saying when it comes to people who want to get involved, you don't necessarily have to have money or time to do that. And you were saying there are 5 big ways?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what those are?
Yeah. So if you want to donate, you can always donate money. We always need more money to support the program and to buy essential needs. You can donate things, gently used items. You can also start collections around those things. So if you want to start a collection drive in your local church, your school, your work, to fund, to get collections of waterproof gloves and mittens, that's always needed as well. Making kits, so we do cleaning and toiletry kits, we do mini warmth kits for the unhoused. Those are our top 2 needed kits, especially going into the winter. We also do art kits for kids that don't have basic art supplies, and we have a Minute for Mom kit, which is basically a gift for mothers that have gone through a lot and they're spending every last penny on making sure that they have food and rent paid, and it's just a way of letting them feel seen. So those are kits. So we have give money, donate things, make kits, and then we have a shopping list. So you can buy some of our regularly needed items. I would encourage people, if they want, they can sign up for a diaper subscription and send us a monthly subscription of diapers. We could never have enough diapers.
Okay.
And it's diapers on average are about $85 a month for one child. And a lot of people we work with have 3 babies in diapers. And so it's a huge cost. And so if everybody were able to send, sign up for a monthly subscription of diapers, that's huge. Just ship it to our address. The other thing is buying pots and pans. So whenever people are getting rid of their pots and pans, they're usually completely worn out and, Teflon peeling and rusted and all of that. We want to be able to give people a fresh start when they're leaving being unhoused or leaving domestic violence. And so that's like the best housewarming gift that we could ask for is bedding, sheets, and pots and pans. So we have a shopping list for people who like to shop. They like to find the deals, look for sales. And then the last is volunteer. And, come in, give of your time, shop the space, fill the orders, help us sort through donations. It's a really good time. Like, so many people have become friends. We have like solid crews of people on certain days, and you can sort of, if you don't like one day, try it another day. And then I would add a 6, like, share our post. We started as a Facebook group, grew from that Facebook group into a Facebook page and an Instagram page. We now have 64,000 followers on social media. And we reach 1.5 million people every 30 days. And the reason we're able to reach that many people is because people share the posts. So you don't even have to have time or money. If you're on Instagram and Facebook and you want to share with your friends, if you want to share with your friends and family, it helps us reach other people. It helps us reach other people that haven't
maybe have that money, time, whatever.
Yes, and people who haven't already gone through their clothing closet or their linen closets or their kitchen cabinets. And we've been doing it for 5 years, and I think the fear was that we were going to run out of stuff, and that hasn't happened yet. And I credit social media with that. So
cool.
People who want to share and speak to what we're doing and come be part of it in any way.
The shopping lists and the kits, somebody who wants to find that information, those are on maineneeds.org, right?
Everything is. So,
okay, great.
Yeah, so maineneeds.org/give is how you can donate money, send a check, donate online, sign up for a monthly donation. That's huge for us. It gives us a stability that we can pass on to other people. Donations, maineneeds.org/donations. maineneeds.org/volunteer.
Okay.
And then under donations, you'll also see, maineneeds.org/kits is where you'll see making the kits, collection drives, and also our shopping list is, I believe, under our donation page.
Great.
So.
The last thing on volunteering, we were lucky enough to come into the old space. And we did a sort of a school drive. We were packing backpacks full of stuff that your volunteers and donors had collected and brought in. For us, that process was easy, but that's because we had somebody coordinating the volunteer effort.
Yeah.
What about the random person who lives at home and says, well, shoot, I live down the street or I live the next town over. I would like to come volunteer.
Yeah.
What's the sign-up process like?
It's just maineneeds.org/volunteer. You register, and then you sign up for a shift. And if you want to come one time and never come again, I mean, I hope you do come again. But if that is how it works out, that's okay. If you come one time and you want to come every single Tuesday, for years to come, we have people that do that too. So it's meant to be flexible and fit your life. We also have a little play area for toddlers and young children, so that if you have little kids and you want to help out and you're missing like being part of community, we have a space for you and your kid too.
Excellent. Friday, November 14th, the 5-year celebration from 6 to 10 p.m. at Brick South at Thompson's Point. Tickets are available online. Do you guys have a selling out point? Is there a cap?
So Brick South, so first of all, thank you to Thompson Point for partnering with us on this. And the cap is the number of people that are allowed in the building, which is 2,500.
All right.
It's the reason we sought out a bigger space. We really want to fill it up. I don't know if you guys have been part of like being in community lately and in large crowds that are positive and full of hope, but I think it's what we all need right now.
Yeah.
It's what I need. And so I want people to be part of that and feel, some of the goodness that's happening in the world.
All right.
Because there's solutions to a lot of what we're seeing.
All right. And you are spearheading that here in our state. Angela Stone with Maine Needs, the executive director of the nonprofit. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Chris.